Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Marcus, and today, as you may be able to tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be doing my first vegan mukbang. So I'm so excited. Today I'm going to be grubbing on a vegan shrimp po' boy. It smells really good. It looks really good. I also have some vegan barbecue chicken tenders and some french fries here. Both of these meals are going to be brought to you by a pop-up that is known as Underground Vegan. You can find them on Instagram at eat@underground. I'll put it here in the video. And I also, for dessert, have these vegan cinnamon rolls. They smell delectable. But these cinnamon rolls are also brought to you by another vegan establishment known as Eat the Veggie. You can find them on Instagram at eattheveggie_. Both of these establishments are Black owned, so be sure to go and support your Black owned vegan businesses. To wash this all down, I do have some Honest Tea, organic, half tea and half lemonade. I've actually never tried this before, so I'm very excited to try it. And of course, I gotta stay hydrated, so I have some water as well. Before we get into this video, be sure that you like and comment and subscribe below. Also, be sure to turn on that notification bell so that you can be notified of my newest content whenever that may be. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to grub. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright fam, so the topic of today's tea session is going to be postgraduate life. So I've actually been out of college for a year. It's been a little over a year. I graduated from the University of Montevallo in Montevallo, Alabama on May 4th of 2019. Probably one of the most glorious days of my life. Never thought I would see the day. A little backstory, I actually graduated in 7 years instead of in 4 years. I was one of those career students, you know, but I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. I just changed my major a lot when I was there, but I lived it up while I was in college. I had a lot of fun. I made some of the best friends, some of the best memories in my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But post-grad life hasn't really been bad for me, honestly. I got a job before I graduated, so I actually got a job. I got offered the job the semester before I graduated. So fall of 2018 is when I got the call, which it was such a blessing. And I, to this day, am still in disbelief that I got a job a whole semester before I graduated. So unlike the average college graduate, I didn't have to like worry about like, oh, like I gotta find my job. I gotta get my resume ready to interview, which I had all that ready already, but the Lord was just so good to me, y'all. God has shown me so much favor, and these fries are so good. Oh my gosh. I gotta make it to something else, y'all. But anyway, God has showed me so much favor and allowed me to have a job before I graduated, so really grateful for that. Also really grateful for this food. I've actually never had vegan shrimp before, but it's good. I really didn't know what to expect, but it's really good. It tastes like shrimp. You can see it, it looks like shrimp a little bit too. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Outside of having my job before I graduate, I think that I probably did really deal with like the struggle of an average college graduate, as in like adjusting to a new work schedule or just a new schedule in general. Not having to wake up and go to class or stay late in the library to do homework was a very weird feeling. Like once I graduated, of course I had my job, so I would go to work, but like when I would get home from work, it was weird because I was like, I don't have to like go to the library anymore and stay there all night until this assignment is done. And of course, sometimes like you have to bring your work home with you, you know, if you're not as productive during the daytime or whatever. But just not having to go to the library was very weird. Also, not seeing the same people every single day was an adjustment. I actually haven't tasted this yet. I'm really excited to. It's literally like, it feels like a boneless wing. Kind of looks like it too. And the texture is even like it. This is really good. I can definitely tell that it's not chicken, but barely. Only because like in the middle it's softer and it doesn't really taste like chicken, but it's really good still. This is a lot of food. I don't know if I'm going to finish all this because I still have dessert left to eat. But it's so good that I just might. Woo! This isn't really bad. So this is like, technically it's an Arnold Palmer. I cannot say that, y'all. My southern drawl, like, it just doesn't allow me to say that correctly. It's an Arnold Palmer. There we go. Pretty much. And it's only 100 calories per bottle. So it's really low in calories. It's very like light and refreshing. It is organic and it's really good. That was my first time trying it. It's not as like sweet as the Arnold Palmer usually is, like when you go to a restaurant. But it's very nice. I definitely taste like the lemonade in it. The tea, like I said, isn't too sweet. I don't like very sweet drinks. So I think this is the perfect balance. For sure. I'm gonna take a bite of one of these cinnamon rolls because I feel like at the rate I'm going, I won't be able to finish all of this. So just so I can critique this. Wow. For anybody who thinks that vegan eating is boring, I'm here to tell you. I'm in paradise. Anyway, back to our topic. Another struggle that comes with being out of college is kind of being on your own, paying bills, learning more responsibility than you already knew. I actually was on my own before I graduated college. Like, I would say going into my third or fourth year. I think it was my third year. I believe it's my third year. Is when I moved off campus and into my first apartment. I had a roommate. I was driving, I was working, so I could pay my bills. And that's really where learning responsibility and prioritizing really came into play, because I knew I had to go to class still, just like I did when I lived on campus, do homework and all that still. But I also now had a job on top of that I would work weeknights. But because of that, I had to learn then, when I graduated, it was really nothing, you know. By the time I graduated, I was already paying all my bills. I was taking care of my business. I had already known, like, how to budget, how to pay bills, what to spend money on, when to spend it. For me, though, the challenge with that came because when I got my job, when I graduated, I switched to full-time. So I started my job as part-time because I still had another semester of school left. But as soon as I graduated, I switched to full-time. And because of that, my job is a salary job, and we get paid once a month. So we get paid on the 1st of every month, and that carries us through the whole month. So I had to learn how to kind of do everything over again, like how to pay all my bills first and then have the rest for the rest of the month, and how to budget to have enough for the rest of the month, and how to save. So that was the biggest challenge for me as far as adult responsibility goes. Other than that, I was pretty fine. It only took me a couple of months to kind of get the hang of it, just because I was already used to having to pay bills and stuff like that. So that was another big challenge. I think I ate all the shrimp out of here, but even this little bit's still good. Also, I know this food is good because the pop-up, when I went to go get the food, so the pop-up is at a farmer's market. Now, this market starts at 5 o'clock. I got there, I pulled up right at 5 o'clock, y'all. I'm not even exaggerating. It was like 4:59 when I pulled in the parking spot. I was like, okay, I'm not going to be that guy that just rolls up right at 5 o'clock, like, let me order. I'm going to wait a minute or two. So I got out of the car at like 5:02. And I walked up to the tent at this market, and there was already a long line. Like, it wasn't even like a couple people. It was at least 5 or 6 people in front of me. And people had already ordered. And this is at 5 o'clock. And it starts at 5 o'clock. So, you know, people are lining up before 5 o'clock to get this food. You know it's got to be busting. So my reactions are not exaggerated. Just so you know. The biggest challenge for me post-grad life, I would have to say, is interacting with those students that were still in college still, but not too much. You know, like, of course, like, my friends still have parties and still want me to come around, and I still want to go because I love them and they're my friends, but also I don't want to be like that guy that's like, oh, you just graduated and you just stayed in town. Now that another year has rolled around, and a good bit of those people that were my friends that were younger than me have also graduated, maybe that would change, but still, I still have friends that are still in school, and I still have those relationships, and I want to be there for them just like I was when I was in undergrad. But again, I do have to kind of draw a line at some point, or, you know, just distinguish myself. So that's that was for me the biggest challenge, just because I'm such a social person. I'm a people person. I love interacting. I love going places. I thrive around people that I can love on and talk to. That's just my personality. So that was a big challenge for me, and sometimes even having to say no, like, oh, I know I have a long day ahead of me tomorrow, or I have to travel for work in the morning and I gotta get up at this time, so like, no, I can't come to your party, you know. And it was very hard, because even in college, when I went to parties, I would have a good time, but there were some times in college where I would go to parties and I wouldn't drink, and I would just go and socialize, because I can have fun in an environment and not have to drink anything to do that. So I'm just that type of person. So even if I didn't plan to drink, you know, I still had to be responsible as an adult instead of acting like I was in college. If you are choosing to take a gap year and getting a job or going to school, I do recommend it. I did not take a gap year and getting my job, of course, but I did take a gap year and deciding to go back to grad school. So it's been a little bit over a year. I'm still kind of making that decision, because at this point, I'm like, do I want to go back to school, or do I want to be a student in another way? Do I want to go and take dance classes somewhere, or do I want to go back and take voice lessons? So I do have a performance background myself. I actually originally went to college as a performance major. Well, a music education major, but a performance background. And I ended up changing my major, like I said earlier, 3 different times, and I ended with communication studies. So even though I changed my major, I still performed a lot, be it on campus or in the theater department shows, or at Montevallo, we have something called College Night, which I'm gonna have to make a whole video in itself on what College Night is. But just buckle up for that and stay tuned for it as well. My food low-key getting cold, y'all, but it's still so good. The tenders are tossed in barbecue sauce, as you can see, but the sauce has a little bit of a tang to it. It's kind of like a sweet and spicy type barbecue sauce. It's really good. Another piece of advice I would give to students who have just graduated, or if you did take a gap year like me and you're just coming up upon that completion of your gap year, is to continue to network and build your resume. Once again, I know that may be a challenge to do because of the pandemic, but it's definitely still possible. So for me personally, what I was able to do was join the junior alumni board at my university. I met people that I would have never known had I not joined that board or started going to things. Even if you're not on your alumni board, or if you don't have one, still go to events that your alumni have, because I was able to network, and I met so many different dope people that went to the same school as me, but at a different time. And I'm seeing how they were able to be successful. I'm seeing some of the same things that they were involved in college as me, but at a different time, of course. Learning a lot about their families, their interests, seeing how well they work with other people, and again, kind of just getting myself out there and meeting new people and giving back to my university all at the same time. So I was very blessed and fortunate to be chosen to be on the junior board. Even if you don't have an alumni board to get involved in at your school, get involved in your church group, get involved in a service organization, or find a club to get involved in. You can also use the time that you have after graduating to just work on yourself. Like I said, I went vegan. I started working out more. I started devoting myself to Christ a little bit more as well. I always did that in school, but I'm doing it on a new level, on a more mature level, and it feels really amazing. So invest in yourself more too. If you do have a job, like find new ways to kind of go above and beyond, or work your way up in your job field, or in your position, or in your organization, in the company that you work for. I think the hardest thing for me, especially like emotionally, was being away from my friends. Like after I graduated, of course I had friends that were in college with me or in school with me that were from out of state and that returned to out of state, or I had friends that graduated with me that got jobs out of town or out of state. And even friends that graduated before me, a lot of them got a job in just a different part of the state that we were in. So I wasn't able to see them every day, like I said. Like we used to be together every day in undergrad, we are not together every day anymore, obviously. And especially like if you had just that group of friends that y'all literally like hung out every day, like y'all were in the library every single day together, or y'all went to eat in the cafe every day at a certain time, y'all would go to all the parties together, like you going to this party, like y'all would wear each other's clothes, or like help each other pick out an outfit. Like those friends aren't there for you anymore, because like they're all doing great things, you know, after post-grad life. And of course you have certain times that you link up, and for me and my friends, anytime we link up, we are just as foolish as we were when we were when we were in undergrad. So it's always a great time. Like when we do get together, we just reminisce on just the great times that we had in college, and how grateful we were that our college brought us together. I'm gonna probably have to do another video on just my best friend group alone, because I have so many like friends and best friends from just different places. But like that one circle that I have, I'm just gonna have to do a whole nother video so y'all can get to know us as a circle, and maybe even see how foolish we really are. Overall, I would have to say my personal gap year or post-grad experience as a whole has been pretty lit. It's been pretty fun. I celebrated like crazy in 2019. I had a graduation party, so that started everything. That started the year-long turn up for real. A couple months after that, I turned 25. Yes, I'm old. Had a party for that. Went on my first cruise after graduation. Went to Disney World with the squad after graduation. Had a job before I even graduated. Got to travel for my job. Got to meet new people because of traveling. Got to go new places that I never knew existed right here in the state of Alabama. So yeah, it's been like looking back, like I still can't believe I graduated. Like it really didn't hit me until that following semester when everybody came back to school and I didn't have to go to class. Like that's really when it hit me. Then I was like, I really am real deal not going back to class. Like what? That's wild. That time flew by for real. It really did. And here we are going on the second fall that I am not in undergrad. So yeah, it's been a great experience. Again, I'm blessed. I pretty much cleaned my plate, y'all. I guess I was hungrier than I expected to be, but my po' boy gone. The barbecue chicken tenders and the fries are both gone. And I still have a whole cinnamon roll and a half left. But considering that I just ate all that food, I think this cinnamon roll and a half is okay. My tea is also gone. And in just a few minutes, this water is about to be gone as well. So, for the most part, I think I did good. That was a lot of food, and I am quite full. But yeah, if you have any questions about being a vegan, if you're thinking about transitioning to it, I highly recommend it. I probably will end up doing a video on my vegan journey, what made me go vegetarian and then vegan, all that good stuff. So if you would like that, be sure to comment below and let me know. If y'all have any specific questions about it, feel free to comment below. Also, feel free to add me on social media. My Instagram is at Marcus_N_motion. You can also feel free to follow me on Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much, but you can follow me at the THEE_N Marcus. And then my Snapchat, of course, Marcus_N. All pretty simple. I'll be sure to add them in this video. But I think that concludes this video. Again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click that notification bell. Let me know of other video ideas and other content that you guys would like to see. And until then, I'll see y'all next time.